Dave, is that pretty disappointing, given the position you were in, that a batting collapse like that would happen on home soil?
Yeah, most definitely. I think losing 9 for 80, I think it was, in any context of this game is very disappointing. And, I accept responsibility as well as a top 4 batter. We always talk about one player going on and scoring a big 100. Me and Sauce were in. One of us should have went on and scored a big 100. It wasn't to be. I think South Africa came out and bowled extremely well. They bowled a straighter line and length. Didn't give us any width early on, especially that first hour. I think the wicket out there is a very, very good cricket wicket. There's probably not a lot there at the moment for the bowlers. I think it's definitely a new ball wicket and you have to make the most of it. The ball's going quite soft and it is soft now. So look, we have to come back tomorrow obviously and bowl exceptionally well to try and restrict them to a chaseable total here.
And, with a lot of pressure, I suppose, on some guys in the lineup now, how do you think they'll respond in the second inning?
I think, as always, they'll remain positive. I think there is a little bit of pressure, but at the end of the day, we're here to do one thing, and that's score runs and win a game of cricket. So we have to let that go, not dwell on the past and what's happened. It is what it is, and we have to move on. And as I said, we've got to bowl well first to get them out before we have the opportunity to bat again.
Pete and Dan.
Dave, the coroner handed down his findings this morning. You gave evidence at the inquest. He said he found it difficult to accept the repeated denials of the players, you and Brad and Tom and Doug, about sledging during that match. Do you have any response to that?
Look, I'm happy with my testimony. The umpire said the same thing, that there was no sledging out there, and I stick to my word. There was no sledging out there. And yeah, I think we have to respect what they handed down and respect what their thoughts are as well. And as us, as Cricket and Cricket Australia, our thoughts and respects are still with the Hughes family.
It would be disappointing to hear that he hasn't accepted what you said, though.
Well, at the end of the day, as I said, I'm happy with my testimony.
David, is it a troubling thing for the team that there seems to be a bit of a pattern developing in terms of even when good starts are made, they're not being capitalised on? I mean, it happened in Sri Lanka in vastly different conditions, obviously, to here.
It's a good question, Dan. I feel there has been a trend as well, I think in the last 12 months, maybe 18 months. I think that also follows on to when we're in England and we're playing there. It's tough. It's tough to see as an opening batter. Sometimes when you get off to those starts as a top 4, then it sort of fall away that easily. It's quite hard to sort of take that as well when you're in the change rooms. I can't really remember, I think, unless we go back to Hobart last year where we really capitalised on that middle period. That's something we really got to work hard on, and at the moment I don't have the answers, but we have to really knuckle down as a batting unit and try and build partnerships. And as I said, we always talk about someone going on to score big hundreds in the top 4, but it's upon everyone else in the middle as well to put their hand up and accept some responsibility to move forward as well and create that partnership.
Just one on Mitch Marsh in particular, there seems to be not a mixed message, but the idea that he wants to be, use his hitting power, be aggressive, be positive, but there's also talk about needing him to be able to play the long innings and get his defence in gear. I mean, is it getting a bit complicated for him, or does he need just a clearer head?
Look, I can only talk from my personal experience. At the end of the day, you have to back yourself as a player. Whether or not there's mixed messages there, him as a player knows and understands his game. He's here at this level for a reason. He's been chosen and selected in the team for a reason. That's to score runs and take wickets. At the end of the day, he has to work out what he has to do to score runs and take wickets for the team. And then I think, for his sake, I think he'll then gain a bit of momentum. And I do hear what you say as well. I've been there at the other end. I think I go back to a game at Wellington where he came out and won us the game. I think against New Zealand, he played his strokes and he played beautifully. And that's the Mitch Marsh that we know very well. But I'm pretty sure as him as an individual, I don't think he's clouded in any way.
With Dale Steyn being ruled out of the series, how much does it change the nature of the challenge, not just in this match, but for the rest of the next 2 as well?
Look, we have to respect each individual that is selected in their team. They've still got 2 very, very good fast bowlers still there, and we've seen the wickets, that they're capable of with the ball sort of going both ways. We have to respect that, and as I said, we can't look too far forward. We've got a game at the moment. We've got to got to bowl well first come tomorrow, and then we have to come out, and we know that, you know, you get through that first period with a new ball, they can only revert back to spin. So we have to really knuckle down and apply that pressure on their two frontline bowlers now.
Ness, then Willie, then Benny.
You do enjoy the battle, though. With somebody like Staney, you're disappointed you won't get another crack at him, and we might not see him on our shores again.
I'm disappointed for Dale. I think all the yamp and the talk in this series so far, I know how pumped he would have been. You know, to play a big role in it for South Africa in this series. It's disappointing for him. I know he's had this injury for a while now. I just hope he can get back on the park and play competitive cricket again like we know he can.
And just on the dismissals of Steve Smith and also Peter Neville, what did you make of those two?
Look, at the end of the day, we have to accept the umpire's decision. It's quite tough to sort of bite your tongue and walk when you feel like you're not out, or you're disappointed with a poor shot. But at the end of the day, as we all know, the umpire's giving you out, you're out, and you have to go.
Willie?
Did you guys find out what why the umpire spoke to Faf du Plessis during the afternoon while Mitch Marsh was batting? I mean,
I'm not too sure. I might know why, but I'm not going to give that at the moment. I've got my thoughts, but I'm not going to say them.
what are your thoughts?
Can't give you my thoughts.
Benny, then Rambo. Ness, you got the mic, mate.
Sorry.
Benny.
Dave, just a sort of wider thing on sledging. Like, I know I'm not talking about the Shield game itself, but do you think that cricket has a problem with sledging and players going overboard, over the line?
If I go back 4 or 5 years when I used to dish it out a bit, yeah, maybe. I think, look, at the end of the day, we're all adults, and when we're on the field, we know what line not to cross, and that's whether you're touching another player or you attack them personally. It's banter and sledging is about trying to create energy, and you're talking to your teammates and no direct threats to any player. And that's totally gone. I don't even know if that was in the game. I've never been pointed at and said that any words of any malice. But for us, it's just normal like banter. It's not really sledging, if you want to say it. Like I don't think there's any in the game at the moment at all.
Rambo.
David, you said it's a good cricket wicket, but it's supposed to be 37, I think, forecast for tomorrow, and there's a couple of cracks in there already. What would be a challenging total batting last, given they're a bowler down?
So we have to wear our sunscreen, that's noted. Look, we've seen it here before. Once it's a great batting surface as it is, and we know what the WACA's like, if you get yourself in and you make the most of it and you capitalise, I think pretty much anything's chaseable. They're going to have to bat for maybe 2 days if they can, with 2 only frontline bowlers. So, we have to come out and bowl well. So, if we come out and bowl well and try and, hopefully bowl them out for less than 300, that's a fantastic result for us. But, as you said, it's going to be 37 degrees. We're going to have to really work hard in that first session to try and snag a couple of wickets early.